Apple has just released the first beta of iOS 18.2 with the ability to create your own emoji and generate images, plus a whole lot more. Before I show it all to you, if you want to keep up to date with the latest Apple news, consider hitting that subscribe button. So, I have my iPhone 16 Pro where I got installed iOS 18.2. This is the second version of iOS 18 to include Apple Intelligence features. iOS 18.1 will be released the week of October 28th and contains the first iteration, including writing tools, the new Siri UI, image cleanup, and more. Now, though, we're getting to some of the really cool Apple Intelligence features. Just to note, this is an initial beta, so things can definitely change and improve by release. First, with writing tools. Before you could choose to rewrite your text as professional or friendly. Now you can describe how you want it rewritten. Say I have this message to invite everyone to my son's birthday party. I can tell writing tools I'd like it to be, how about more demanding? Okay, yeah, that definitely seems more demanding. I could also maybe make it more just excited, just full of excitement. Yeah, this looks a little bit better for a toddler's birthday party. I like how they expanded it out too. This is really nice. The next new addition here, after writing tools, is Genmoji. This is where you can create your own emoji characters by describing what you want. There's a lot of emoji already, but I'm sure there's always that time where you're like, oh my gosh, how is this not an emoji yet? Well, now you can just make one. So you open the emoji keyboard and tap the Genmoji button. Just to note, there may be a wait list. It depends if you're already on one or not, or it can go really quick. It's just really going to depend when you're going into this. So then you describe what you'd like to see, and boom, it gives you a few options. Choose one and send it. These can be used basically anywhere emoji can, including with tapbacks. I tried a bunch of different ones, from a cinnamon apple latte to a shopping cart full of pumpkins. I did try a foldable iPhone, but it didn't want to give me that option. Just gave me some generic folding phones. It was worth a try. I just wanted to see what it would do. For iPhone 16 users, Apple also gave us a first look at visual intelligence, which uses the new camera control. It's a really cool new button, but it's a little hard to protect and retain all of that functionality. Fortunately, Spigen is out with its new T-Series cases specifically designed for iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max, with full coverage of the camera control. All of the T-Series cases feature this special cover that is seen in very few third-party cases. It has a glass surface similar to Apple's own cases to retain all functionality and touch sensitivity. What's great is that it offers the same functionality as Apple's own first-party cases, but Spigen's line is more affordable and gives you more options. My favorite from the new line is the Ultra Hybrid T MagFit. It's the most minimal and lets the titanium colors come through. You can get it in this clear or in frost black. Then there's the Tough Armor T AI MagFit, one of Spigen's signature cases. Spigen uses AI simulation analysis when refining the design to improve impact and stress reduction by more than 90%. It's got a dual-layer design, a sleek matte finish, and a built-in kickstand that won't interfere with the built-in MagSafe magnets. Pick up the new Spigen gear at the link down in the description and pinned in the comments. Now, let's go back to talking about that camera control. You enable this by tapping and holding the camera control on the side of your phone. It then opens the camera and scans the world around you. Scan a flyer to add it to your calendar, point it at a building to see what hours of operations are. I scanned my bottle of Coke Zero to get nutrition information. It also integrates into ChatGPT and Google Search too for more results or where to buy something. I actually scanned my Lego set here and it told me what Lego set it was and where I could pick it up. You can also use image playgrounds. These are for more full-size images versus just the emojis. This is built in natively to the Notes app as well as other places throughout the OS. And it has its own app. You can create images, either animated or illustrated styles. You can describe the image and choose from some of the prompts that appear on screen. It will then create that image for you. These images are saved and you can even tweak them as needed. They can be shared, sent messages, added to a presentation, and more. What's kind of cool is you can use people from your photo gallery as the basis to create a person in an image, like friends and family, or yourself. It's a little questionable at times. I swear this does not look like me. This is supposed to be me enjoying a party in New York City with fireworks. Maybe this looks like me. Tell me in the comments if this looks like me or not, but I feel like it doesn't. I tried this with some other people too. It did not look like my wife or my grandfather, but I feel like your mileage is going to vary here, and this can always be tweaked, and you can provide feedback in the app of whether or not you do think this looks accurate to the image that it's supposed to be based off of. Similarly, you can use the image wand. Like if you're in Notes, you can use it to circle a rough drawing and it'll convert that into an actual image. You can add additional words or phrases to help dictate what that final image will look like. And if you have just a blank space in your notes or presentation, circle that and it'll create an image for you. I know a lot of you were waiting for this one. Apple's virtual assistant is finally getting smarter with this update. Apple has now integrated ChatGPT into Siri. When you ask Siri a question that it thinks ChatGPT may be able to answer better, it will ask you about that and then send that request over for ChatGPT to process. It could be generating a packing list for a trip or giving you a recipe based on ingredients you have, or other more complicated questions that Apple's assistant usually can't handle. It was able to quickly give me a recipe for sweet potato fries and an impromptu Halloween costume for my toddler. He could go as a strawberry. Apple focuses a lot on privacy here, making sure your IP address is completely obscured while also not allowing your request to be used for training purposes or getting stored. That's at least if you're using the free version of ChatGPT. If you use the paid version for more advanced features, then you'll be bound by OpenAI's privacy policies. The Mail app has been redesigned a bit, giving us now multiple categories to filter your inbox by. You can see all emails, priority emails, transactions, updates, and promotions. Apple Intelligence expands to new localized English with this update, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, and the UK. Plus, Apple has new developer APIs for all of these too to integrate Genmoji, writing tools, and image playgrounds into their apps. Outside of all of these Apple Intelligence features, Apple now lets you set new default apps. Go to Settings, then Apps, and there's a new default app category where you can choose from multiple categories, including the new additions of calls and messages. And also in Settings, there's a new volume limiter for the built-in speakers. This won't apply to things like calls, but can be useful to limit playback in small places, or maybe if you've got kids. iOS 18.2 is currently only available for developers, but that will likely expand to a public beta down the line. Let me know down below what new features you're most excited for. Otherwise, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.